University system, an earthquake in Texas, and flooding in Thailand. All that and more right here on KBVR.
Good evening, Corvallis, and welcome to your Thursday night edition of the Beaver News. We're glad to have you right here with us. I'm Spencer Smallwood.
And I'm Kim Stowell. Many Oregon State University students are attempting to stay green while in the college environment. The Organic Growers Club and volunteers are currently working with Patrick Doughtry, an artist originally from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, in creating a large work made from sticks and branches, forming them to appear as large huts behind Gilkey Hall. The Organic Growers Club formed 11 years ago, and there are currently about 600 students. All students are welcome to join. According to the Daily Barometer, the program is entirely student-run by 11 staff members, 5 of which are project coordinators that spend their time focusing on energy, food, landscape, and waste reduction. Morgan Dumitru, Student Sustainability Initiative co-director, states, quote, "As a campus and a culture, we move continually toward a culture of sustainability," end quote. All students can participate, even without being a member of the club, by making wiser energy, food, transportation, and waste reduction choices.
The Oregon University system and a nonprofit Guns Right group went to court in Salem last week. Gun control on campus was the issue at hand. The nonprofit group, the Oregon Firearms Federation, participated in a civil battle against OUS whether to allow students to carry legally licensed and concealed firearms on campus. According to the Daily Barometer, the conflict is due to an incident at Western Oregon University, where a student was apprehended by campus security. Jeff Maxwell, a Marine Corps veteran, matched the description of the suspect. Security then discovered he was carrying a concealed loaded pistol and pocket knife, and had a rifle in his car. Western Oregon reacted by expelling Maxwell. Maxwell, with the support of over 200 people and the OFF, decided to fight back. After further legal actions were taken, OUS got involved. After months of debate and argument, the legislation finally ruled that OUS did not have the authority to deny the student their legally permitted and concealed firearms. Though OUS did lose the battle, they have thought of other possibilities on how to establish gun control. Diane Saunders, OUS spokeswoman, said, quote, "One possibility is to have various campus users sign contracts in different circumstances that they won't bring guns onto campus property, such as students who live in on-campus residence halls," end quote. Even with the legislature change, students are still liable for expulsion should they be caught with concealed firearms if these ideas become official. All the OSU community can do now is wait for the November 2nd deadline by which OUS will make a decision on whether or not to pursue further legal action against legislature that allows legally permitted and concealed weapons on campus.
Oregon State University researchers recently discovered that the cool temperature of Oregon has significant benefits when it comes to wine production. According to the Daily Barometer, the benefits of the Van Duzer Corridor, a gap in the Oregon coastal range, including the cooler nighttime temperatures and summer heat moderation, gives the grapes and wine a unique taste. This year, the vineyard owners have experienced higher than average flowering, making this year's crop larger than normal. Not only does the weather play an impact on the wine, but yeast, temperature, fermentation, extraction of compounds in and out of skin seeds, and storage barrels must also be brought into consideration. As explained by Neil Shea, the director of the Oregon Wine Research Institute, quote, "During the winemaking process, sometimes those flavors and aromas can be enhanced. Also, the region, the terroir, where grapes are grown contributes to the flavor," end quote. Significant growth is expected in the future for Oregon wine.
The sentencing date has now been set for impeached ASOSU President Tonga Hapoi. According to Don Iller and Joyce DeWitt of the Daily Barometer, the Senate will meet on November 1st to decide whether to find Hopoi guilty or not guilty. In order for a guilty verdict, the decision must pass with at least a 2/3 majority vote. If she is found guilty, the Senate will then move to sentencing, of which they will have three options. They can vote to issue an injunction, which would set stipulations about her to return to office. They could choose to censor her, which would act as a formal reprimand, or they can completely remove her from office. In the trial, Hopoi will be the defendant. House Speaker Drew Hatlin will be the plaintiff. The Senate will act as the jury, and the Judicial Council Chairman, Colby Whitaker, will serve as the judge.
You have probably seen the solar trailer around campus providing green power for different events, but did you know that the Student Sustainability Initiative used it to completely provide for the Sustainability Center's electricity needs over the summer? More than just a group with a good name, the Student Sustainability Initiative is doing their part to make campus that much greener. According to McKinley Smith of the Daily Barometer, the organization is now working on a project to make Dixon Rec Center more environmentally friendly, with Brian Laird, co-director of the Student Sustainability Initiative, saying, quote, "Student Sustainability Initiative is funding a large-scale solar water heating installation in Dixon Recreation Center that will provide 100% of its hot water needs during the summer and have a substantial impact throughout the rest of the year as well." We now go to a report from Courtney Becker at the Socratic Club meeting discussing the end of the world.
Hello, I'm Courtney Becker, filming for KBVR Channel 26 News. I'm here at the lecture, Will the World End Soon?, hosted by the Socratic Club.
Now, I don't think climate change is going to be an apocalyptic event in that sense. It's not like coming to the edge of a cliff and falling off. It will not be in the human time scale an event which happens within a day or a week or a month or a year, or even a decade, or even a couple of decades. Right? We're talking about really an unfolding climate catastrophe. And the question before us is, how much are we going to try to save? How much are we going to try to save of the conditions on the planet as we have all come into it in our maturity and come to know and love it?
Hi, I'm Courtney Becker, here with Matt Rubin, the president of the Socratic Club. So Matt, tell us a little bit about the Socratic Club.
All right, so the Socratic Club was established, the first president was C.S. Lewis back in, I think it was 1941 at Oxford University. It's essentially an organization that organizes religious debates for the general public here in Corvallis and also for OSU students. There's several around the world, but we're kind of rare actually at this point in time. So essentially we have a couple speakers in, all distinguished scholars in their areas, and have them talk about modern day issues in Christianity. We'll usually have one speaker that's a Christian, one speaker that's a non-Christian, or something like that. Tonight we had 4 speakers actually, but it's something along those lines, and anybody can come and ask questions and listen.
Okay, and what is your role as president of the Socratic Club?
Well, as president, I kind of participate with the rest of the members. There's just a couple of us. It's not a huge organization in and of itself. We really do the organizing, the secretarial, bookkeeping, and getting it all ready for everybody. We don't do debate ourselves. It's not a student debate club. We choose the topics, choose the speakers, talk to the speakers, make sure they know what to expect. We organize, we get the venue rented out, and we make sure that everybody has a chance to speak. The sound equipment's right. So basically we just make sure there's a good, polite, respectful atmosphere for everybody to express their opinion, the speakers especially, and then audience members with their questions. Does that make sense?
It does. Okay, and when and where does the Socratic Club meet?
We meet, it kind of varies. Right now we're meeting on Mondays, but essentially it's just a couple of us. I think there's 5, 6, or 7 or something like that. And we meet in Milam weekly to organize these debates. And that's just during the school year. We have 2 debates per term, and then we're off for the summer, basically.
Okay, and when is your next event?
Our next event is Monday, November 14th, I believe. It'll be in Milam Auditorium. This was the first debate of the year, and then this next event will be our second, so our final for the fall term. And the topic will be on relative versus absolute ethics. So.
Perfect. Okay, I'm here with Matt Rubin, president of the Socratic Club, who hosted tonight's lecture of Will the World End Soon? Thank you so much, Matt. Thank you. Hi, I'm Courtney Becker.
Thank you for that, Courtney. In Florida, more than 50 homes have been damaged due to severe weather. Damage assessments are underway in Plantation and Sunrise after a suspected tornado swept through the South Florida about 10 p.m. According to CNN, 3 people sustained minor injuries in Plantation, but no one was transported to the hospital. Joel Gordon, battalion chief for the Plantation Fire Department, said about 25 homes were damaged in Plantation. In Sunrise, another 25 homes were damaged, with 6 classified as uninhabitable. Damage was also reported in Indiantown, about 75 miles north of Plantation.
The first photos of the military helicopter involved in the August crash in Afghanistan's Wardak province have just been released, according to CNN. The accident that killed 38 people, including 22 Navy SEALs, was the biggest loss of life in a single day for the United States in the 10 years of fighting so far. It has been reported that there was no wrongdoing, but the mission may have not been optimally planned, and future changes are being made. Some of the risk might have been avoided if the U.S. military planners had been given the crucial information about the helicopter's specific route. A former senior intelligence officer, Spider Marks, described the scene as, quote, "They were alert, they were leaning forward, they were prepared for the next shoe to fall, and then what happened is a Chinook appeared in their crosshairs and they took advantage of it," end quote. The Taliban commander the United States was pursuing on that mission turned out to be only a local threat and was killed last month in combat operations.
With the first 2 weeks of the regular season canceled, pressure is on to resolve the labor agreement between coaches and players of the NBA. NBA Commissioner David Stern has said that last season was not profitable for most of the league's 30 owners, who want cost-cutting help from players. According to CNN, the league lost as much as $300 million in the 2010-11 season. One of the battles focused on the owner's rejection of the players' union call for an average of $7 million player salary in the 6th year of the new labor deal. The current average salary is about $5 million. Other big issues include a fight over a move by owners to get the bigger share of revenues and whether the NBA will strengthen its salary cap. The league's owners began a lockout of players in early July.
4 members from the hit show Happy Days are suing CBS for $10 million, claiming that they were not paid their share for the merchandising sales. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Elizabeth Allen White ruled in favor of CBS, which will cause the case to proceed only with a breach of contract suit rather than the alleged fraud claims. According to CNN, the trial is set for June 26, 2012, and the 4 members of the cast, Marion Ross, Don Most, Anson Williams, and Eric Moran, cannot receive punitive damages at the trial. The actors claim they never received the revenue statements and that CBS did not intend to pay them. CBS explained the case as a, quote, garden variety breach of contract action, nothing more, end quote. Documents provided to the actors state that CBS owes them between $8,500 and $9,000 each, while the actors claim they are owed millions of dollars.
Former Major League Baseball star Lenny Dykstra pled no contest Wednesday to 3 counts of grand theft auto and filing a false financial statement after reaching a deal with prosecutors. According to CNN, though the 48-year-old Dykstra now faces up to 4 years in prison, the prosecutor's office has agreed to drop 21 of the charges against him, including attempted grand theft auto, identity theft, possession of a controlled substance, and unauthorized possession of a syringe. Dykstra was drafted by the New York Mets straight out of high school in 1981 and led his team to a World Series championship in 1986, as well as earning himself a Major League Baseball All-Star recognition 3 times. His sentencing is set for January 20th, 2012.
A 4.6 magnitude earthquake struck this morning 50 miles southeast of San Antonio, Texas, according to CNN. The earthquake was felt in multiple counties, including Wilson Counties, Atascosa County, and Bexar County, and was just over 2 miles deep. It is the largest quake to hit the area since the 1993 4.3 magnitude quake. One resident of the area, Patricia Hardiman, told reporters, quote, "I felt the earthquake this morning around 7:20, end quote. The federal building in downtown San Antonio was evacuated briefly, and employees were allowed to return inside just before 9 a.m., according to Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal Fernie Carl.
Well, folks, looks like Lindsay Lohan will be heading back to jail again. On Wednesday, a Los Angeles County judge revoked Lohan's probation after she didn't comply with her community service hours. Lohan was removed from the courtroom in handcuffs and later posted a $100,000 bail. Judge Stephanie Saunders ruled that once Lohan made bail, the actress had to perform 16 hours of community service a week for a minimum of 2 days a week until her hearing on November 2nd. Well, according to CNN, the judge expressed anger at Lohan's repeated probation violations. Lohan was supposed to be performing community service at a downtown Los Angeles women's center, but posted 9 excused absences at the center her last court hearing on July 21st. Her probation is scheduled to end within a year unless Lohan breaks any laws before then. It has been extended several times because of probation violations, including a failed drug and alcohol test. Don't touch that dial. Me and Kim have your international stories for the night, right here on KBVR.
Pants, pants, pants. I am folding the pants. The pants are long. Do they go on my head? Do they? Do the pants go on my head? No. They go on.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bag your lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Hair loss. Now this rash on my face, what's going on?
For answers, ask your doctor the right question.
Could I have lupus?
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad
One more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
These names are...
Welcome back to the Beaver News live on Channel 26. The flooding in Thailand continues to inch closer to the capital city as residents are buying out stores and heading for higher ground. The death total has risen to 320, with approximately 9 million others affected, according to CNN. Authorities have decided to divert water through Bangkok, which is likely to flood the city. Some residents have been asked to move valuables to higher floors in their homes to protect their belongings. It is currently being estimated that overall damage from the floods could top $2 billion, with the worst still yet to come. The country's main airport is prepared to withstand the water's impact, and a massive effort is underway to protect one of the nation's largest industrial parks that is located north of Bangkok.
The director of a battered women's shelter in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, is being held Wednesday on charges for trafficking and prostituting women. Soledad Grinzin Perez of Juarez was arrested Tuesday afternoon after one of the women in the shelter stopped police and asked for help. Arturo Sandoval, spokesman for the state attorney general's office, said, quote, "Our officers responded immediately, and that's when they found the shelter, which had pretty much become a brothel," end quote. According to CNN, officers found several irregularities at the shelter. When police entered, they found 5 women and 8 children. The children had been beaten and had chili put on their private parts, said authorities. It is unclear how long Grinzin has owned the Women United Against Violence shelter.
After months of fighting, former Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi has been killed. According to CNN, upon hearing the news, the streets of Tripoli were flooded with cheers and celebration. In a press conference, President Obama said, quote, "1 year ago, the notion of a free Libya seemed impossible, but then the Libyan people rose up and demanded their rights. And when Gaddafi and his forces started going city to city, town by town, to brutalize men, women, and children, the world refused to stand idly by," end quote. Though Gaddafi's death finally brings an end to his reign of power over the people of Libya, there is still much that will need to be done in order to bring stability to the civil war-torn country. Mohamed Jibril, Libya's transitional prime minister, said, "This is a time to start with a new Libya, with a new economy, with a new education, and with a new health system."
Tens of thousands rally outside the Parliament building in Greece as lawmakers debated the unpopular measures aimed at bringing down the country's huge national debt. After a peaceful start, violent clashes broke out between anarchist rioters and the police. A protester who died in the chaos was a member of the PAME workers' union. Hospital officials told CNN he was a 53-year-old man who suffered cardiac arrest. Lawmakers approved the austerity measures by 151 in favor of 154 against, despite nationwide protest and a 2-day strike that gripped the country. The new bill is expected to result in 30,000 job losses and further cuts to wages and pensions for workers in the public sector. Organizers estimated the turnout Wednesday was 120,000 people, which would make it one of the biggest protests in the country in years. European Union leaders are scrambling to minimize the effect of Greece's debt on their common currency, the euro. Finance ministers from the world's largest economies pledged their commitment to take all necessary actions to stabilize markets. They aim to keep banks well capitalized so they can weather the effect of any defaults by Greece or in indebted countries such as Portugal, Spain, Ireland, or Italy. European Union heads of the state are widely expected to finalize the plan in early November at a meeting of the Group of 20 World Economic Powers.
French President Nicolas Sarkozy and his wife Carla Bruni welcomed a baby girl into the world on Wednesday, according to CNN. Bruni and Sarkozy were married in 2008, and though this is the first child for the couple, Sarkozy has 3 children from his previous 11-year marriage. Bruni, no stranger to the spotlight as a singer, actress, and model, has vowed to keep her child free from the public eye.
British archaeologists have discovered a 100,000-year-old boat burial of a Viking warrior in Scottish Highlands. The man was laid to rest inside his boat, surrounded by value items, including an ornately decorated sword, shield, spear, and axe. According to CNN, archaeologists from several universities have spent the past 6 years carrying out digs at a number of sites on the remote Ardnamurchan Peninsula, which is located on Scotland's west coast. The group is aiming to trace the whole history of the area. Previous excavations nearby have uncovered a Neolithic tomb, a Bronze Age monument, and a 19th century site linked to the Highland clearances. Dr. Oliver Harris of the University of Leicester, one of the project's leaders, said the boat is quote, "the find of a lifetime," end quote. The archaeologist said he and the rest of the team plan to return to the site again next summer to carry out further investigations.
400 dogs were rescued by a Chinese animal protection group in the city of Zhejiang by the Climbing Center, an animal rights protection group in Sichuan. The group received a tip about hundreds of caged dogs being transported to various restaurants and proceeded to block the truck while recruiting more volunteers to help. The group agreed to pay the dog trader 83,000 won, equal to $13,000. After a standoff and a negotiation, according to CNN. Dog meat is a popular tradition in certain regions of China, but its popularity is decreasing as international and Chinese animal protection groups increase pressure. Most of the dogs were dehydrated at the time of the rescue, but only one dog has died due to respiration system failure. The dogs are being cared for now, and after health procedures are complete, the dogs will receive new homes. Ms. Tang, a Climbing Center employee, told CNN, quote, "Some dogs were stolen, and now their owners come to us to take back their pets. Many would leave with a certain amount of money as appreciation for our work," end quote. Dog trading remains rife in certain parts of China due to the lack of laws for animal welfare and protection. That's all the news we have for you tonight, but be sure to tune in on Monday at 7 o'clock for more local, national, and international news right here on KBVR.